Sentimental and technical video for the Quality DB service for the 25th of May 2021. We'll start with the Kiwi Yen because this is our current signal. It's looking good technically and sentimentally. However, you do want to be careful with your risk management as well. You don't really ideally want like really wide stops. We're having tight stops currently and it's working okay. Having said that, the spread widening at the daily close, it caused us to be stopped out because our stop was 10 pips. So in hindsight, we would have just planned for that. The same size for this current second rendition is 10 pips as well, and we're going to aim for 4.6R, which is is quite respectable. And if we get to target, that'd be fantastic. Just to say that we are, it's looking good for the Kiwi Yen. And also see my notes about the Aussie yen as well in the update I've just sent out. So it's looking promising, and these guys are losing money as well, which is a good sign. If one was making money, it'd be a little bit of a warning, but this is perfectly normal. That these guys are in drawdown and these guys are in drawdown. So, and the key is that we're above monthly pivot as well. So it's looking good. Let's look at the charts. Double click NJ. Where are we? Probably over here. Yeah, so ideally we want it to not break this pitchfork. So 78.45 would be a level of interest. 78.41. Potentially it might come round and do this. You had to expect a little retracement. You see how it actually did hit it pretty much on the dot, and 2 times, actually 3 times, 1, 2, 3. So 78.45 is of interest. Technically and sentimentally we're good, but we have to expect a little retracement because FX trading isn't easy, and so we have to expect it to go a little bit against us, and then it will rally. But yeah, as long as you're careful and stuff, and you don't have like humongously wide stops, you'll be fine. And it's all about getting a good entry as well. So it's a 50% resistance there as well. See, this would be the 50%. So you could possibly wait for 78.62 and maybe buy above that. This hasn't got the stop loss clusters, so I can't show you those. AJ, I'm going to zip through these today because I've already talked quite a bit about NJ. 84.44 and 83.90. We are a buy and it's sideways. Well, we are going to ignore the IG because that was just a data issue, that blue line. AU 77.85 and 76.70. We are a buy. It's quite sideways, but we're above monthly pivot, and we're breaking the diagonal, which is quite bullish. EA, one above, 158.50, 157.15. We are a buy, and it's sideways. So yeah, there isn't much sign from the dynamic shifting really. It's just going horizontally. EU. Hopefully you can't hear that bird. We've got a very noisy bird in the background. It's very annoying. 122.50, and one below is 121.55. We are a buy. Very choppy, but they shorted it, you can see. So that would be quite bullish. They shorted it here at MR1 at 122.09, which kind of makes sense technically, but they weren't aware of the sentiment, so it came up. And they're your levels as well. They're your Fibonacci levels. GU, let's zoom out a little bit. So we're broken the diagonal, but we are buying the sentiment, and they're shorting it ever so slightly there. So probably the same logic. Maybe they're looking at the monthly pivots and resistances. I'm not sure, but they did short it around about here. I guess maybe they shorted it with a stop here, but then they just got slack and they moved their stops. And one above is pretty much on the diagonal at 142. I had difficulties loading that before. One below is 14150. So this is actually a signal of ours to buy, but if you look at multiple time frames, if you've got the super indicator, we've got bearish harmonics on there so many time frames. I'm not sure about it at all. It looks like it's consolidating. It might be ready for a breakout. See how we're getting like almost like a triangular sort of shape. See, we got these this sort of thing going on. So we could be having a big breakout at the RBNZ sort of thing. Maybe we'll come down and then we'll break. But they're your levels there, so you can pause the video. We are buy, and they shorted it, which helps our signal quite a bit, because obviously this correlates well with Kiwi yen. Euro yen, there's your monthly resistance one above. Okay, 13310 and 13245 we are buy, and it's sideways pretty much there. That doesn't tell us anything really at all. Pound yen. We're seeing a lot of yen weakness, which fits into the narrative of us being risk on, like you would have seen in the risk calculation. One above, it's possible 155. Yeah, we're sort of 75 pips away. It can possibly get it. One below is at 153.50. We are buy, and it's sideways, really sideways. Dollar yen. There's that diagonal that I was saying yesterday, and I think it could obey it, the RSL on the sentiment. Just keep an eye on this 108.85, and the SLC below is larger of the two. One above is 109 on the dot, 108.51. It could flip over to buy, so do be careful, and we're below monthly pivot. Dollar CAD, this SLC is at 121 and 1.20, so 120, 121. So it's dead easy to remember. The one below is getting quite a bit larger over time, so that makes me think that it's going to probably come down to take that liquidity if it gets larger, which I suspect it will. Once it comes down, takes those stops, and then it could potentially do that, because we've got monthly support one, and we respected it very, very, very well, and we have respected monthly support one for the last 2 months. So we'll have to wait and see. So it could take that, and then we could rally. If it breaks MS1, we've got a long, long way to go, and we can come down to there. So 117.60. I don't think it's going to come down there, but who's to say? Technicals are quite weak. Zoom out. Oops. So we're in a big downtrend. So we could come down to MS3, which is quite scary. But then, these guys are probably going to have to get punished. So, that's what happens. Dollar Swiss, 0.9 and 0.894. And we have been a sell for ages and sideways pretty much. This was a second largest movement across time on our spreadsheet for sell. And so the reason for it is that I didn't think we were going to come up and take that SLC, and wow, that was close. Oh, did they just move it? No, they've moved it, haven't they? They just moved it just above that wick. 1890. No, that was yesterday's stop loss cluster. Yeah. So it just didn't have the motivation to get it. It seemed it probably took so many stops on the way. Perhaps they might be waiting for NFP. But I didn't think it was going to come up and get it. If you saw my video yesterday, and also you got technical resistance here at 1906. It was 1904 yesterday, but you have to remember that the Zoop indicator calculates the levels of support and resistance according to the current candle. So the further along in time we go, the resistance is going to get higher. You see? and eventually it will break and then we'll come down. And that's them guys going along in quite a big way. So could come down to the SLC 1850. It's $25 away. So I'm gonna wrap up now. Bitcoin's a big mover because quite a lot of stuff going on in Twitter, which is helping. So that's great. And any questions, just let me know. If you need any charts, just give me a shout. Marco and Andre are around, and they do better charts than me anyway. But if you needed me to do a pitchfork chart, just let me know. And I hope you have a good day, and I'll speak to you soon.